Hi, Choclair.
Hi, how are you? Is my stuff on? I'm just trying to make sure everything is sounding right.
It's good.
Oh, good. All right.
How
How
are
you
you
doing? Happy
doing?
New Year's. I'm good, thank you.
I'm good as well. I've got a cat that keeps wanting to jump up on my desk.
Uh, they want to get in the shot.
Yeah. Oh, so how was your New Year's? How are things going?
New Year's was nice and very quiet, so I enjoyed that a whole lot. Then the holidays, it was good. It was actually because of like the busy past 2 years, especially what are we now? Well, this would be like 3 years out of the pandemic and everything when it was shut down and nothing was happening. So then now that these past 3 years is about 2023. It's been really crazy. So doing a lot of stuff, and it was great to actually just actually literally do nothing. And if Dick Clark was still on TV, I'd be a American music bandstand going all the way down on New Year's Eve or whatever. So I just held it down quiet and just took in the new year and ready for everything that's about to happen this year.
Awesome. So can I noticed I was going through everything and I was listening to some of your music and I love transit music, by the way. That album is so good,
Thank you.
especially the
Thank you.
My People Say and
Yeah,
All Night. That was like killer. That was seriously good.
thank you. Thank you very much.
Um, so this was released early or late last year.
Yeah, it came out, I believe it was November 28th. It came out last year. So just around the end of the year. Then we went into Mariah Carey season of December and Christmas songs and everything like that. So at that point, Christmas in Hollis from Run DMC, Mariah Carey, and all the NSYNC Christmases and everything like that. That floods the market. So now in January 2026, now we're going to go start pushing this one off now.
Okay. Yeah, that's wonderful. I really, really like that album. Some of the
Thank you.
songs, it's like it kind of took you back to the 90s and everything. And
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of the 90s hip hop and stuff. There was something about it back then. Do you feel like we've lost any of that, or do you feel like it's starting to come back now?
Well, one of the things that I thought is like that the record, Transit Music, what happened was it was a lot of songs that over like a period of time that I recorded and some newer ones too as well. But some songs like Made to Move Mountains and stuff like that, they were recorded before Swab Dirt Dogs with ODB and stuff. And some of these records, they were in between, let's say like 2010 and now. And some of them were just because they were through just random projects here and there. So they were just kind of placed, right? Like, there was no real like backing or anything like that. It was like it was just there. And if you knew what to look for, you would find it.
Mm.
Some of those songs like Made to Move Mountains and Swab Dirt Dogs from Me, Socks, and ODB. Somebody asked me online the other day and they're like, how is this a new album if you have the ODB track on it? And I was like, well, that song never had a home, right?
Yeah.
And not everybody has heard it. And even with Made to Move Mountains and some of the other ones, it was like they never had a home, and I wanted to give it a home. I didn't want to just have, like sometimes you find that one song from your favorite artist that's not associated to this album or that album. It's just a single that you could just find and never find it on any type of body of work. So some of those I put on the record so that way when they're hearing songs like My People Say or Focused or other songs like that,
Yeah.
they also get the Suave Dirt Dogs and Made to Move Mountains. So for that, I tried to find a home. And for me, as far as the record was concerned, is I just wanted to, because it was a collective of stuff that I was doing, just not with an ambition to do something with. Like it was just like, I'm going to go into the studio and record this song. And I'm just going to record it as great as I can record it. And whatever happens with it, we'll figure out, or we'll put a plan together and figure it out. And I think that's why the song came together and the title of the track the title of the album came together was because it wasn't, when I recorded these songs, it wasn't aggressively ambitious to put towards a record or something. It was just make a great song, and then
Yeah.
we'll figure it out afterwards. And as I was recording it and recording these songs over the time, because of parking tickets and stuff, I had my license suspended. So I
Oh,
was taking the transit and everything for a while. And well, how I kind of put it together was the songs, not necessarily those songs, but just songs in general. When you get on the train, especially now, like, always going into December, January, February, March, these are the coldest months in Toronto and everything like that. Uh, you go on the train, you put on your 555 Goose and your jeans and your Tim boots, and you get there, and the train is packed. There's so many people. You just sit there, put on your headphones, go from A to B. You just want to go. Please don't talk to me. Don't sell me no cookies, no, no muffins, no nothing. I'm not trying to buy nothing. Maybe a patty from Warden Station, but like other than that, other than that, I'm not trying to do anything. So the music that when I was curating the record was like, what makes you feel like that? And I had these songs that are recorded and a couple of the other ones like Made to Move Mountains and Swab Dirt Dogs and Hurt Everybody that I did with Classified and a song I did with King Crooked Crooked Eye and everything like that. And I was like, this feels exactly what I'm trying to talk about. And that's kind of how like the whole thought process of transit music came up because it was just also like I was just talking to somebody the other earlier and they were talking to me like, do you ever try to put double entendres in your music and stuff like that? And I said, I never really think about doing it. Like I might write something and then something might come up. The joke that we came up with was I did a thing about Hansel and Gretel. And I was like, yeah, so they went and ate a cake. And then or a cake house or a candy house. So I'll call it a cake house anyways. So they went and ate a cake house. But then now I'm like wrapping it back to myself and, like rehearsing like the flow and everything. I was like, yeah. And they went and ate it. This is hypothetical. I didn't do a line about Hansel and Gretel eating the cake. But like, but then I'll be like, oh yeah. So they went and ate a house full of cake and then listened to Rihanna because
hmm.
she had that song, cake, 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 cake,
Yeah.
cake. So that might pop up. But like I said, 99% of the songs, when I go into it, I don't write it thinking it. I might realize it after the fact. And maybe that 1%, I might be like, oh, I could use this in two different ways. But for the majority of everything, I'll just write it. And sometimes I write it and put it in and not even really realize that I'm doing it until like my friend Rodala, he's always like on me on these things. He'd be like, "Yo, did you catch what you said?" And I said, "No, I didn't catch what you said. You said cake, then Rihanna, and then went to cake, and then you went to Moose, and I was like, I did." And then like, yeah, and I was like, okay, I guess I just did what they were talking about. And yeah, I don't think about it. I like wordplay, but I like it to come naturally and everything like that.
Okay. Um, I was wondering, I was watching a few of your interviews and talking to a few people, and how can I put this? Is Canada like up there with hip hop? Like, are they, kind of in that second rate category? Because there are so many wonderful hip hop artists from Canada and everything
Hmm.
got classified, Socrates, um, the Thrust, the list goes on and on.
Hmm.
So, do you feel like there could be more, like more recognition? And by the way, congratulations, because I know you won 4 Junos. I do
Yes,
believe.
yes, yes.
Do
Um,
you think it gets
well,
the recognition in Canada that it deserves? I think is what I'm trying to say.
I think on an industry complex type style, maybe now it's getting a little more, but not fully what it deserves.
Uh,
And why I say that is I just saw it's been going viral for at least in Canada, anyways. Alchemist that does a lot of production for a lot of people. I guess he was in Vancouver and he was like looking at a Socrates record, which was Father Time, which actually,
yeah.
when I first started, that it was under Knee Deep Entertainment or Knee Deep Records, and that was my record company back in '94 when we put that together. And yeah, we put that in. My first record that I ever did was 21 Years, which was on the B side of that record. And
Yes.
he's watching it and he's reading it. And he's like, I've been listening to Socrates and Choclair for a long time. Their infrastructure for doing music in Canada was never there at that point. So we didn't have, like in America, they have pipelines and this, that, and that. And even in other countries, they have it. Back then, they didn't have it up here. Everything was either pop rock or house hip hop type things. You had to wear polka dots and go on Electric City, Electric Circus, and stuff like that. And it had to be friendly, music friendly. Like if you were a Mob Deep, like a Ghetto Concept or someone like that, it was too rough or too hard, or people weren't listening to that. But although we were still listening to Mob Deep, Wu Tang, like all these guys from New York, Gangstar, you name it, but they were like, oh, people don't listen to that. But we were. Um, I think back then, definitely not. I think now I still find that people in the industry, not necessarily the listeners now, before listeners had it a little bit because they were kind of uh, brainwashed into thinking that Canadian music, I hate calling it Canadian hip hop because we do hip hop, but it's hip hop that just comes from Canada, right?
Yeah.
And our style is different, our influences are different. So but they would always put like an asterisk of beside, like, this is good for Canada. Our music videos. This is okay for, yeah, it's okay for a Canadian music video. Oh, this is okay for a Canadian song. Unknowing or knowingly putting us underneath everybody else.
Mhm.
Where people like myself and Cardinal and Chaos and Dream Warriors and a whole bunch of other people that were coming out in the late 90s, Jellystone, and other the people like that, we put it as like, no, we just as good. And when we did like songs like Northern Touch and kind of solidified like we can do stuff,
Yeah.
that's where people, the audience itself, were like, yeah, we actually like where it's coming from because we can relate to these guys. Like these guys from the West Coast, and we know who the Rascals are. They're talking West Coast vibes. Here's somebody from Ontario, and he's talking Toronto. He's mentioning the DVP, Nathan Phillips Square. We can relate to all of that, and then just other artists in general, like uh, Classified when he did Maritimes and started opening up people to this is how we do it in the Maritimes. Say, this is how we get down. Like this is how we do it out here in the East Coast, and the audience started getting into it more. I think the industry then had to catch up, and I still think the industry now, because a lot of it, and it's not just hip hop, just music in general and entertainment in general, a lot of everything is coming out from up here. Like
Okay.
the top
Yeah.
artists, like, you talk about Drake, you talk Tory Lanez, you talk even like Avril Lavigne, you talk Celine Dion, you talk damn, I feel like a woman. I'm forgetting her name right now. Shania Twain. You talk about all these other people and other artists around the industry. I find the industry is trying to catch up. And
Oh,
one of the funniest things that I heard from one of the music programmers on the radio recently, well, maybe not so recently, but a few years back, is when they were talking about making promoting songs. And I remember listening to WBLK back in the day, and they'll be like, "You heard it here first. You heard it here first." That was their claim to fame. You heard the brand new Biggie song, One More Chance remix. You heard it here first. He literally told me, he said, "Yeah, we're not in the business of breaking music. We see what's hot on YouTube and we put it on." And
ah,
that's where the industry is behind on that, because they did it with the Bare Naked Ladies. These guys just came out on Speaker's Corner and did their thing. And then when America loved them, then everybody claimed them. And I think they're doing a better job of claiming before the recognition is there, but they're still waiting to see what recognition is there and not nurturing and curating their own home artists to where everybody goes somewhere else. Like you wondering why Drake went and signed over there. The story that I heard, I don't know how true it is, but it's a continuous story that I heard, is that everybody was up here saying, "No, we're not sure."
yeah.
So Lil Wayne was like, "Oh, you're not sure? I'm sure." And look where he is right now. And that was one of the things that Alchemist said back there. He's like, "Yo, if their structure was different, these guys are big, big hitters." And he's talking about myself and Socks that he mentioned in his interview. He's like, "These are big hitters." And I've been listening to these guys since the mid 90s, and I'm still like listening to them now. And I just find that our infrastructure needs to change, including like when you go to a Knicks game and you see Jay-Z and Beyonce and the Kardashians and all these other Spike Lee sitting in front row. Why don't you see that at the Raptors game? You should be seeing Justin Timberlake, not Justin Timberlake, Justin Bieber, myself. You see Drake, but Drake is involved, right? So like he's gonna be
Mhm.
there. But you should see Cardi, you should see Julie Black, you should see this one, you should see there should be that integration. And Q-Tip said it, and I forget what song it was, but his first thing was he said, "Scared money don't make money." And
Yeah.
everybody's scared about everything because they're not sure, and maybe there's a job position that's on the line if something messes up. But that's why it doesn't happen. And I think that there needs to be a lot more courageousness on promoting artists from here because they'll be surprised at the amount of people, especially when you go up into Timmins and Prince George, BC, and somewhere up north in New Brunswick, and you go over on George Street in Newfoundland, and you go over here in Prince Edward Island. They want it, but they're being
Mm.
dictated to from the industry because they're like, well, I don't know what to do with it and how to deal with it. Oh, but give us a 50, but then 50 can't go up to Timmins because they can't afford it,
Yeah.
right? So there's a whole bunch of things right there, but it's changing, but I wish it would change a lot faster.
Okay. So it's making some progress. It's just slow progress.
Yeah, their progress is like we're in 2010 right now.
Ah,
Yeah. Compared to 2026, right? Like that progress is different. In 2010, people had endorsement deals, this deals, that stuff going on. The industry was big. It was probably one of the biggest moments in hip hop or the transformation moment of where hip hop became more of the dominant music of listeners and everything to where Canada, the industry, we just are following while the artists are taking the lead and other people from other places, even in Europe, even in Japan, and especially in the States, they're like, yeah, we'll take them. We'll just take them. We know what to do with them if they don't. And then they bring them back, and then everybody loves them up here. And then we're like, yeah, these are ours. And it's like, yeah, if this was ours, why didn't we do anything with it? And
yeah.
there's always excuses, but there's always excuses. And I'm not trying to say that the excuses aren't always real, but that's a problem that we do have up here as far as supporting our urban music artists in Canada.
Okay. Yeah, because I was, this has been years and years ago, but I was listening, going through especially the 90s hip hop and everything. And that's where I heard your name was DJ Premier.
Yeah.
You were on his New York reality check, and the song 21 was playing. And I mean, it was just, you know, there was something about it's hard for me to explain, but there was something about the song, like the lyrics and the music just collided together, and it was amazing.
The funny thing with that song is so right before that record came out, because it was Father Time on the A side and 21 Years on the B side. When that record was coming together, I was like almost at a frustration point with myself because I was sending in demos to EMI, Virgin, Warner Brothers, BMG, Universal, Sony, you name it. And there was even things, and nobody ever listened to it unless you had an angle to get in there. Like your friend was cool with the A&R or knew this person or something. Yeah, if you knew someone. And there was even people when I would go to the studio, and back in the 90s, there was like there wasn't as many home studios as you have now, right? Like, you can go to your friend's house and record, but there was always like these studios, 306, Trebas, this one, that one, and a couple other ones, Metalworks, Cherry Beach, and so a couple of other smaller ones. But there was only like maybe more than a handful, but not a ton of them. And so all of our artists would always catch up with each other because they would be finishing a session, I'd be starting a session, I'd be finishing, and someone else would be coming. And we used to always talk about records and submitting demos and stuff like that. And at one point, who became my manager, his name is Lee Fredericks. We used to call him Day, and he did Day Productions, and me and him started Knee Deep Records. And he came to me one time, and I was just ranting about like I hate putting demos into the record companies and stuff. So he calls me, and he says, "Yo, were you really you serious about doing all of that?" And I was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah. I am, man. I'm done doing rap. Let's just go and put records out." So we started a record company called Knee Deep Entertainment, Knee Deep Records. Our first record was Father Time from
Oh, okay.
Socrates. Um, and then back then, you always needed a B side, right? There was always a B side. One More Chance remix and One More Chance from Biggie. The B side record was Who Shot Ya that you couldn't find on the record. Every record had a B side. So Father Time we had, but we didn't have a B side. I was like, Do I still kind of rap right now? Okay, I'll do 21 years. Father Time blew up. Got Socrates signed to Warner Brothers. He's doing soundtracks for Batman. He's doing all this stuff. He's doing all this crazy stuff. And I was listening to DJ X on CKLN 1 to 4 one Saturday, and they just finished playing Father Time again for probably like the thousandth time or something like that. They were always playing that record, which was great. And someone calls on the radio, and I'm listening to it like live, and they're like, "Yeah, Father Time is really dope, but you kind of got to check out that B side." And they didn't call my name right. They're like, "This Choclair guy, like, I don't know, he's got a kind of cool song on the other side. You check." So X is on the radio. He's like, "Yeah, we have been giving Father Time a really big play, and it's a great song, but let's check out this. I think his name is Choclair. That's what I've been hearing. Let's check out his record." And they played 21 years. And then the phone calls started coming in. What song is this? Oh, it's Choclair, 21 years. Then DJ Premier heard it and put it on his Reality Check 101. Then everybody thought DJ Premier produced it. So then, but it was Day who did it. Premier just licensed it to his record. So then at that point, because Premier got on it,
Mhm.
everybody now is getting on it because he's Premier.
Yeah.
And it was like, but the song was the same before he put it on. Like I understand co-signing and everything like that and all that other stuff about stuff. But the song was the song. I didn't change it or whatever. But then that became that, and that became one of those things where at first people were like, okay, but DJ Premier got on it, and all of a sudden it becomes that. And then we're like, okay, next step is like, well, what are we gonna do? We have this record that's doing really well, and we have no artists because I was behind the scenes at that time. I only just did the B side. So me and Dave were sitting there talking. We're like, what are we gonna do? It's like, I don't know. I was with Cardi the other day and he introduced me to this singer and she's really good. And he said, "Oh, Julie." I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "All right, okay, yeah, I know her and I know them through there." I was like, "I met her, but we haven't formally met. Like, like, hi, I'm Shocks. Hi, I'm Julie." It's like, "Okay, come to the studio Friday. Let's go and figure out." First day I meet her. "What's up, Julie? Hey, how you doing? What's up? Blah, blah, blah. I seen you over there at Cardi's party." I was like, "Yeah, I seen you over there. It's a pleasure to finally meet you and everything. You're a great singer." And from what I knew already, that I only seen her live, right? Like, which is great anyways because she's great live.
Mhm.
And so at that one day, we do what it takes. And we were like, what are we gonna do? I don't know. So we just did a song. How are we gonna put it out? But then again, we need a B side. Well, I'm the only artist on the label. So I'm like, and I'm not even on the label. I'm the label. And I was like, I'll do just a second. So we did what it takes, just a second. Hooked up with. Funny that I brought this up. I wasn't even thinking about it. Hooked up with Page Distribution, which is one of the members of Bare Naked Ladies from Scarborough. So they put a CD together with what it takes, just a second, and a bunch of remixes. Lo and behold, that song picks up. I'm watching Rap City. I was doing a show with Danny O, YOK, and a bunch of other people on the Beat Factory Rap Essentials tour, the first one. And we were in Thunder Bay, and we just finished a show. And Rap City used to come on at 4 and 4:30, and then repeat at 1 or 1:30. So we finished the show. We're all over having an after party at these people's house. Rap City comes on, and that was the only place where you could see any rap videos at that point. Much music wasn't playing rap videos really,
Yeah.
and my video comes on. So everybody's looking at, is that you? And I'm like, yeah, my video. That's the first time I saw it. It premiered when I was over there, and 3 weeks later, it goes on to win a Juno.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, and then Day goes to me after we did. I remember my grandmother. It was a big deal. My grandmother, my mother came. Everybody came. So Day looks at me at the Juno Awards. I'm standing with this Juno. He goes, "Well, I guess you're the artist now, right?" I was like, "Yeah, I guess so, right?" But yeah, but like nobody really jumped on this stuff. Going back to your question, is like until the Americans got on it, and that's where it goes to the point of like the infrastructure sometimes for Canada. It's a little bit follow. They want to see how everybody else reacts to it because they don't want to put their claim, I guess, on something that doesn't work. Maybe that's a protection scenario on the side. But once everybody jumped on it, and then the snowball started going.
Oh, God. Yeah, that's weird how that happens sometimes. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's incredible. Um, so do you have You were mentioning 2026. Can you give us a little hint as to what is going on?
Yeah, in 2026, we're going to be doing a tour. We're actually setting it up right now. So I'm looking probably going into late spring into the summer, and then also continuing into the later in the year. There's a lot of real big things that are really happening. The touring, there's some TV shows I've been doing, some acting, and have some roles that are going to be coming out. And there's more than I could possibly think of, even like being in the game for like 20 plus years that has been coming up and opportunities that are presenting itself just over these years. Maestro used to always tell me every Maestro, because he always touches you when he talks, right? Like you, his chest is like, hey, yo, 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 you know what? You know what? And he always tells me, he's like, because he always says, don't make music, make history. And then he says, he goes, everything kind of comes in tens sometimes, you know, maybe off a year there and off a year there, but like in tens. And this is like a 10th year of things that have happened, and all of these things are coming to fruition. Like Maestro past couple of years, like he's got the governor of Canada, you know, Walk of Fame, this all these things on his 10th of a 10th, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like all these things. And so he always talks to me about stuff like that, and it's great to hear. And he's like, yeah, man, this is your time, and everybody is really interested in what you're doing. And how you said it's like sounds like it's a resurgence back into like the 90s type style of hip hop, like where, you know, the beats and the rhymes and the flow, it's not too processed as far as like we're gonna make a song and we'll grind out the cheese and, you know, like how the sausage is made and we'll show you, and here your generic hot dog. It's like, no, here is actual people in studio working, doing stuff and coming up with very creative ideas and thoughts, and is coming out, which also leads to what will be happening. I can't talk too much about it, but which will be happening, which is a album that will be coming out, is called AK416. And what that is Socrates' name is Zamani. My name is Kareem. We are from Toronto. So there is a collaborative album called AK416. And that's all I can say about it right now. The first single is out right now, is called Mr. Pendergrass. It's off of Socrates Amani Deluxe record. That's out there. And so that's other things that's coming beyond the finally the full release of transit music coming out this year.
Okay. Um, so you're doing some acting. Can you say anything on that?
Not too much, but I'm learning certain things of acting, like trying to cry on the spot for a scene. So I put a bunch of Vicks underneath my eyes and stuff like that just to make it tear, and trying to, it's like, you know, like you keep wanting to laugh. Like when you watch like bloopers and you watch these movie bloopers and you're like, why is everybody laughing in the bloopers? That's what's funny. And then I think the funny part is like trying to, oh, like, you know, like you're trying to be serious, but you can't. And especially depending on what the person that's saying stuff to you, how
Mhm.
they, you know, like they could, if especially if it's a comedy and they say something really funny and you just like like, you know, you got to turn, and then, you know, like everybody's time, if you laugh and mess up, like, you know, everybody's like, "Oh, this was the last take." So, you know, and sometimes it's funny and everybody else, like somebody else might laugh or whatever, but you always try to be like that. But it's those are things that I'm getting used to, is like, because people get really intense in their roles, right? And that's what they do. And you know, and I'm learning. So I'm grateful for the people who are patient with me and understand that. They're like, yeah, but you do music videos. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, but nobody hears me talk in the music videos because it's all overdub.
Yeah.
I don't have to say lines. If I forget a word in my when I'm recording the video, recording the song, like if I'm supposed to say split and I say sit, it doesn't mess up because they can cut to a B-roll and come right back. So like whatever, or people may not see it, but if I'm saying it, they have to hear it. And I'm like, it's completely different than doing music videos and acting. Maybe there might be a slight acting role in the music video, but not. There's no Denzel going on in these acting in these music videos. Like that's not happening.
So are you kind of nervous, kind of excited, a mixture about the
uh,
acting?
I'm mixed about everything. Because I don't want to suck. I know I'm not the greatest. I don't expect I don't expect anything from it other than, like maybe you did a good job. That was cool. I'm not expecting no Tony or Oscar or Screen Actors, or I'm not, I'm just trying to do as good as I can do. But I'm very excited about it because it's another chapter into what I like to do, which is entertainment and being in this business, and I can only hope to be I don't know how old he is. Maybe he's like, what, 78, Mick Jagger running up and down on the stage and sitting there and having people saying I got moves like Jagger. I don't know. My knees are getting old, so like I might have to go and do like some, like the bone collector and lie in a bed like Denzel and just tell him what's going on with the crime. I don't have to move or something like that. No running, no jumping off trains, no Tom cruising the place, just analysts or something like that. So I'm very excited, and I'm excited very much about the opportunities and everything that's coming. And one of my good friends is he goes by TMNT Collector. So he's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle collector. He's from Hamilton. He just got the Guinness Book of World Records for the largest turtle collection
Oh, wow.
that he has. Like if you go, his wife is a Star Wars fanatic, and he's a ninja. So you go into their house, you're in a museum. Um, and he put me on to a lot of coming up at the end of the month, actually, January 31st, I think it is. Is like he's been introducing me to a lot of the Comic Con situations.
Okay.
And so this would be my second one that I ever gone to. And so I would do that. And the funny thing is because the way it sort of kind of came together was like in Northern Touch, I mentioned at the beginning, I said I like chilling Monday Night Raw watching me and Danny. So at that point, when people were like kind of hating on wrestling and not, like I was fake, and I'm like, leave me alone, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. Um, so people kind of, oh look, and I didn't even realize I'm wearing my wrestling sweater right now. I didn't even realize I had put that on. So I've been a wrestling fan, and the funny thing is that through that, and because Northern Touch did so well, and a lot of people really know it, and they kind of identify it as the hip hop Canadian national anthem or something like that. They like the fact that I was into wrestling, because people would call them nerds or geeks. Oh, you like wrestling? Huh? You know it's fake. Oh, all these guys wrestling in tights, and like I like wrestling. I like watching wrestling. I've been watching wrestling all my life. And I went to the one over last summer in 2025 for my first one. And they're like, I've been watching, people come up to me and be like, I've been listening to you from when I heard Monday Night Raw watching, and you called it Skydome too, not the Rogers Center. Called it Sky. I was like, that's what it was, Skydome. And it gives me that kind of connection because, like I nerd out on wrestling. Like people might nerd out on the Ninja Turtles or Pokemon. Like I didn't know it was a thing. I'm opening Pokemon cards and videotaping because I didn't know it was a thing. And they're like, "Yeah, come open a pack with me." I'm like, "You sure?" He's like, "Yeah." Oh, we didn't win anything. They went back, bought another 8 packs, brought the camera. Let's open them together. Like I didn't know it was a thing. And I guess in that type of way, it was kind of cool that doing these Comic Cons, and now they're inviting me to come and do them, is because it's it's almost like a freedom of expression. People go there in their outfits. It's like Halloween. People dress up as, Harry Potter and Fraggle Rock and Smurfs, and nobody looks at them in any way. It's just like,
I,
oh, that's a cool outfit, you know? And
this is
I think that,
perfectly normal.
yeah, like it's perfect and everything. And that was like the thing that I really like. So doing with all of that and going to these new things that are coming up, it's very great. So I love being a part of it. And in this new year, I'm looking forward to even reaching out to more people that are just re coming back into remembering Choclair from when they like Let's Ride and Northern Touch and other songs and those. And they're like, this album, Transit Music, relates right back to that time. And I really like it. And the fact that he's cool with wrestling and he likes this. And he just likes to engage in conversation. I think it's really going to do a great thing, and I think a lot of people are going to see me, and it definitely in 2026.
Okay, that's wonderful. Um, so tell me, do you have a website or anything where people can find you or anything they should be looking out for?
Yeah, definitely look for me on all of the social medias. Choclair Chisnak on Facebook, Choclair on Facebook as well. Choclair Official on Instagram, Choclair on Twitter, X, whatever it is. Uh, Choclair on YouTube. Everything is going to be Choclair or Choclair official, with the exception of one of my Facebook ones, which is Choclair Chisnak. And I try to respond to everybody. Sometimes it takes me a minute because sometimes they go into requested messages and then you forget to go there. And then you go there and you're like, oh, 2 weeks ago. And it's a big list like this. And I try to get back to people. So, but yeah, like they can all reach me out on social media. And we have a clothing line out of here. I live out in St. Thomas, Ontario, near London. We set up a bunch of stuff, me and my friend Malachi. So we have this clothing line called Jumbo that we do as well. People might see me with this elephant on my shirt and stuff like that a couple of times. That's the clothing line that's doing really well. And we just look forward to being engaged with just the community, people in general, the industry of entertainment. So you don't even have to be a rapper or a singer or anything like a producer. You could just be involved in entertainment. You might, I always tell some of my friends, it's like you may not be able to rap or sing because I can't sing. I could try, but I don't know how much insurance you have on your windows. But but I could try. But you don't have to be. You can be. There's so many positions and stuff for music lovers that may not have the skill of singing or rapping or producing that can be involved. So like if you like law, maybe try and look up entertainment law or management or this and all these other different fields. So I like talking to people just about stuff and others. They'll tell me I can't rap, but I really love music. And then we'll be like, well, what do you love about music? And what do you like? And how do you like? What do you like to see? And whatever. This might be something if you're interested in trying to go in that direction where you can still be in a field or an industry that you love. And you may not be an artist per se, but the artist can't do anything without the backing behind them. You have good management, the management gets you good stuff. You have good uh, DJ or producers, they make you good stuff. Fortunately or unfortunately, sometimes the artist themselves is always the one that's pushed in the front, whether good or bad. But you still need the people behind you to go and make the gears work, keep the gears greased up, and make sure that it's always keep moving. And you can be a very integral part of that just because you love music. So you don't always have to be the front. I have friends that do music, and they're like, I'm like, you're really good. Why don't you go and do stuff? He's like, no, I don't like the camp. I don't like the camp. I just stay behind. Like, yo, take this beat shock. So we'll write together and you be the guy that says it. And I'll be like, you sure you don't want it? No, I don't want no cameras. I don't want no cameras. So, but yeah, like I like doing that and I like engaging with people on stuff like that. And I hope to meet more people like that I have over the past 25. It's almost crazy to think about it. Over 25 years of doing music, and in Canada and hip hop at that. Like that was when I was starting, that was unheard of. Everybody was like, you can't do it in Canada. You can't make a career up here with hip hop in Canada. It's never going to happen. 25
Uh,
years later, been running ever since.
so real quick about your clothing line and everything, can people purchase that stuff online?
Yeah, you could go to Saint T, so SAINT apparel.ca. Then that will have the link to St. T Apparels that's up here because it's called St. T because we're in St. Thomas. So they'll have that up here, but then you can get all the other things like the transit music clothing, the Choclair clothing, all these other different little trinkets and stuff like that that we have, magnets, refrigerator magnets, and just other stuff. Also, rare vinyl. Because again, like I was mentioning, I put out Cardinal's Hustlin' record back in the day. I put out Father Time. I helped put out Julie Black's Rallying and Danny O and Frankenstein and Marvel and Y Look and these guys. I just sitting on for vinyl aficionados out there. I have all that vinyl
Oh,
and
wow.
I have all of it because when we dissolved Knee Deep, I got stuck with the tax bill but also got stuck with all of this vinyl. And I just have them. And people hit me up. Do you have the old Hustlin' Cardinal record? Yep. How many do you want? I can ship them to you. And then, because I have obviously limited supply because whatever I have left is what I have left, but I have a ton. But once they're gone, they're gone. And so, yeah, so they can get all of that stuff from with Jumbo and all these other things. They're all there, the clothing line and stuff. It's just me and like a like a little warehouse doing music, this acting, that. Just come one hub, one stop, go get it all, and we go and do it all. And I'm going on the road, and I can't wait to see everybody on the road because I really love meeting the people who support me and even people who just got to know me or heard about me and sometimes end up having like 20-minute conversations and we forget how it started, but we all know that we walk away with each other being like, what's up, word up, great talking to you. And like 3 shots later and a handshake, and it's like, yeah, we made a good friend.
Oh, well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much for having me on, and hopefully we'll see you at a show coming up this year.
That would be wonderful. Are you coming to Ohio?
Well, I don't know for Ohio for sure, but what I do know is I was just talking to someone, I think they're called the B-Side Project, and they're based out of LA, and I did with Rozelle and Mixmaster Mike a few years back, like 47 dates in the States. And I went to so many places like that you only see on TV. I went to Albuquerque, New Mexico, and the first thing that popped in my head was watching all those Looney Tune cartoons and watching Bugs Bunny saying I should have made a left at Albuquerque and watching the Roadrunner get run away from Coyote. And then I'm driving through Albuquerque and I'm like, man, this looks just like Looney Tunes, like the dirt in front of the house, like there's the grass. I'm sure there's grass, but like in some places it's, and I was saying like Lake Tahoe. I was like, where's Lake Tahoe? I went to that big casino, is it Farrah's in New Orleans and all this other stuff. Like it was, yeah, I can't wait to get back down there. House of Blues in Chicago. I ate
Oh, yeah.
20 minutes before I was going on stage. And thank goodness they moved the show back an hour because I don't know how I was going to perform with, like 6 mashed potatoes and a huge 20-ounce steak in my stomach. And oh, you're running five. No, I'm not. And I'm the opener. I have no place to say when I'm going on. And they're like, oh, we moved the show back an hour. I was like, thank goodness, because I don't know. So part of those experiences with Chicago and all these places, Idaho, Seattle, Texas, the Houston Astros, like all these things. So I was at Oberman College in Ohio.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was a really cool place. We did a couple places, Cleveland and Cincinnati, and Oberman. I don't know if that's where I just knew I wasn't familiar with the college before, university before until we went there. So yeah, I can't wait to go back. And I was surprised to find how many people actually knew who I was because it was my first time in the States. And they would come up with source magazines and it'd be like, yeah, quotable of the month or what they used to have the new guy to watch type thing
Yeah.
in the magazines and stuff. And they would come and they would put it up. Actually, that was at House of Blues in Chicago. Guys in front row with the source magazines like, Choclair, I got you, I got you, I got you. And I was like, wow, really? So it'll be good to go back down there and check them out and go overseas again. I haven't been there in a while either in a minute. So it'll be great to be back.
Okay. Well, if you get a chance, definitely come to Ohio again.
Where in Ohio are you? In
Uh, I'm originally from Cleveland. I'm in Marion now, but I go back to Cleveland whenever I can. So if you're ever coming to Cleveland, Ohio again, definitely let me know.
For sure I will. For sure I will. It's funny, Cleveland, I know Cleveland because of the Cleveland baseball team. I know Akron because of LeBron. And where was Michael Jackson from? He's from somewhere in Ohio, wasn't he? That small town? Jonestown? Not Jonestown. James? I don't know. Gary. Oh no, that's Indiana. That's Indiana. Sorry, sorry, sorry. Okay. Yeah, the Gary, Indiana. Yeah, I would love to come back and I had a great time last time and the support and the love was great. I can't wait to come back and really do it and go down there for like another month and a half and hopefully I won't get deported. I'll
I've
have a
got
work
my fingers
visa.
crossed for you all the way. Yeah, it's been crazy here.
Yeah,
Oh my
I see it
goodness.
on the I see it on the TV.
Yeah, wow. Uh, but thank you so much for taking your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me, and I'll see you in Cleveland next time I'm there.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right. Thanks. Bye. Have a wonderful day and Happy New Year's.
You too. Happy New Year's to you too.